everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. So I am continuing my little series of Can I Arrange That? So today I have this little easel. Look at this, it's very thin. There was a little plaque hanging here, or not hanging, but resting on here. And I actually have that little plaque hanging on the wall now. So I decided to see if I could arrange this in some way. And I think I can. So let's get to crafting. All right, since I am arranging, I'm using some flowers, and of course I'm using silk flowers. And here's these pretty little flowers that I'm choosing to use. These I got them from the store at home. It's from their summer little bunches that are coming in, and this was only $3.99. I thought it was a pretty good deal. I've already used this one. I think this was from Hobby Lobby. It was a $20 bush. But I got it for half off. And this is like a, what is this called? Lamb's ear. It's so pretty. I love it. I got a couple of these, so I'm going to be using them in quite a few arrangements. So you'll be seeing those. And of course, you'll be seeing some flowers from the store at home. But of course, you can grab your florals from wherever you want to shop at. Maybe you already have some florals in your home, or you can recycle some other ones from some other arrangements. All right, so I want to make something on this little easel. And I decided that I wanted to make something that kind of flowed upward onto here. So at first I thought I would make a little wreath, which I thought would be cute, just kind of hanging off of it. But I really wanted to use, you know, this part here and just make something, and then something that comes up onto here. All right, so I'm going to be using some floral wire, and here I have the stem wire. This is a 22 gauge right here. And if you want to use it from a paddle such as this, you can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these little sticks right here. I don't know if you can even see that little stick. Let's see, how long is this? Does it say? I would say it's about maybe 18 inches long. Okay. All right. So the length doesn't really matter because we can cut it up. So I want something that's going to be in the shape of this. I don't want it to go beyond these little curved little decorative ends. So I'm just going to measure that plus that. And then I'm going to fold it in double here. Now, if you have a thicker gauge wire, that'll be great. And I'm just going to fold it one more time so I can create a base where I can stick some flowers down onto. So that's that little V that goes right here. It matches up with that. See the V that I created? Of course, you can straighten it up. It doesn't matter. We can, you know, bend it again to the shape. All right, so now I'm going to grab another one, and I'm going to measure the middle here. You can do this however you want, depending on the style of your easel. Okay, so now I'm going to measure just about almost the very top. I don't want to cover this little hinge, but I don't care to cover that. That doesn't have to be covered. It might get covered, who knows. So I'm going to bend it right there. So I want to use this length, and I still have a little bit left over, so I'll just bend that right there. See, I don't have to cut anything. And, you know, I have actually, my wire is now double, so it's a little bit stronger, a little stiffer, if you will. Okay, let me just wrap that little end around. There we go, just like that. Okay, so now we have these two pieces right here. Okay, so let's start cutting some flowers. I'm going to be cutting them off the bush, and what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to use these leaves, so for now I'm just not going to cut that. So I'm just going to cut some flowers at the bottom end here. Let me remove the leaves downward. Now we're going to end up cutting these a little bit shorter, but we're going to use that length for now. Now I don't have to create those little bases that I did with wire, because I can actually use this as my base, but just for the heck of it, just so I can keep track of the length, that's why I did this, okay? All right. All right, so I chose to cut 5 flowers. I like to work in odd numbers. If you only have 3 flowers, that'll work. Who knows, maybe I don't even use all 5. All right, so now I'm going to cut a couple of bundles of this greenery, a couple of stems here. Set them aside. And if I need more, I'll just cut more. So let's put them aside and let's get to working. I'll bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so now that I have my little bases here, my flowers cut, I'm going to go ahead and grab the first flower, and I'm going to decide where I want it, and I want to align it right along here. So I'm going to push that upward and then bend my flower a little bit, because I don't want it to just be flat on my wire. I want it to have some sort of shape so that it also has, you know, some dimension coming up and it's not flat, and it's also looking forward rather than looking, you know, just to the side or just flat upward. Okay, so this is the first flower that I'm going to add onto here. Now, I could use some wire, just use this. I don't need to cut that. Let's see. I'm going to cut my stem because I already know that I don't need it to be that long on my flower. Now, I don't need to cut the wire. I can just continue working from the paddle. Okay, so I'm going to wire this down. Now, you wouldn't have to wire it down. You could just sort of wrap the stem of the flower on here. But I want it to be nice and secure, so I am adding this wire here first. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some greenery tape and then just wrap that around, and I'm just pressing down on it. You have to stretch it a little bit as you're pulling it off here, off your roll. You want to stretch it to release the adhesive. Okay, so now I'm just going to wrap it. I don't have to go too far down because as I add another stem, I'll be covering that up. Okay, you know, whatever's left over here. So we're just going to let that wire stay on the paddle because we're going to continue using it. So that's my first flower right here. I will want one in the middle, but I need some greenery right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my stems of greenery. Oops, sorry for that noise. I'm going to cut these into little pieces like that. Cutting right above the next one there. So there we go, just like that. I'm going to take this one that had the smaller leaves and I'm going to add it right here, but I'm going to bend this upward. Actually, I'm going to remove this one leaf. I'm going to bend the stem again so I don't have, you know, a flat leaf like that, but rather it coming upward like that. Okay, so the same wire that we had, we're going to use. That's why I said you don't have to tape it all the way because you're just going to put another stem right over the other one. Okay, let's get this guy off of here. All right, there we go. And now we can tape that bit. And that's how you're going to build your little arrangement. You're just going to keep adding little bits, little stems onto your arrangement until you fill it in all the way. And then we're going to bend this one forward just like that. And see how pretty that already looks. Very simple. We're going to add on now a flower and some greenery and then a flower on the other end of this little triangle. And then we're going to wire down to our little easel here. Okay? Lots of wiring. Any little spots where the tape just doesn't want to stick, add a little bit of glue. You use your hot glue gun and then press the tape down. Be careful not to burn your fingers. There we go. Here's what this is looking like. So now on these I have some really big leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just cut some individual ones from this top one here. Just some small ones. Like that. And then I think I'm going to cut this very long one here, this very big one off of here. I feel like it was too big. And so I was ending my little, this is my little V actually, but I have it spread out straight right now so I can see what it looks like. So I can take this and then I can just hot glue it on here, just like that, okay? So thankfully I have all this tape here, so it creates a little base for me to hot glue this down to. So just add your hot glue and place it where you want. And anywhere you feel like you have a little bald spot, you can take another leaf, like for example, this one here. Add some glue on the front, tip at the bottom, and then just glue from underneath. Like I'm gonna glue this one under this flower, for example. See that? I just glued it from underneath. So that flower has a little base on it. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I don't wanna use too big of a leaf, so I'll go ahead and cut off another one from this other stem. So I have another smaller. And again, let me cut off that little stem. I don't need that. All right. And now some hot glue in there. And then I'll hot glue it from behind. See, it's just a little bit of that leaf showing, but it cradles that flower and it gives it a finished touch. There we go. Once I bend this back into its V shape, it'll all get a little more, you know, a little more clustered together. Okay, so you saw how I built that. I'm gonna do the same thing with this little stick that's gonna be upward on our easel here. So I'm gonna add probably one flower. Like I said, I might not use all. I like to use odd numbers, but it looks like maybe I just need one flower because I will have this one flower here in the middle and then of course one at the top of the easel. Okay, so let's go ahead and build that. I'm gonna cut this about the length of my little stick here. And I'm gonna go ahead and wire it down and tape it. And then I'll add a little bit of greenery here. And then we'll go ahead and put it on our easel so we can see how we're going to position all of that. All right, now remember when I said the length of this, I cut it to the length here and I said I might end up cutting it or maybe, you know, it all depends on how long you want it. I actually felt that this little tippy bit here was just kind of loose there, so I just folded it down. I just folded all that wire down and the ends of the other wire that I used to wrap. Just fold it all down. You can use your little pliers if you want to do that instead of using your fingers. And then just, this is very thin wire, so it's very soft and easy to bend, but you know, if you don't want to poke yourself with the, you know, the little raw edges that I also bent, use some pliers to get that down. Or if you have some problems with your hands or your fingers and you can't really use too much strength, then use that. Okay, so now I have it like that because this stem gives me extra height. And I really don't want it to be like, let me put this right. Let's just go ahead and leave it like that. Well, this is the back of my easel right here, as you can see. So I don't really want this to be up here. I wanted it to be this high. So see how I have left over here? And then that little piece of wire that was like about 1 inch that I folded down. See, I don't need all that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and also fold this over here and just give me that little tiny little extra length there. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave this loose because I'm gonna do something with that in a minute. Okay, so let's get this together with this so we can see how. Now see how I have this little bit here? I'm gonna go ahead and use that to kind of hook up behind here, right here. See how I hooked it up on there? So then I'm gonna use that to twirl around. And there it is, just like that. So it's now holding on to this piece. And as you can see, right here I have a bare spot. So that's where I can add some greenery. So all I gotta do is put my little greenery bits on there, wire them down, and tape them. And then I'll have this little arrangement created. So let's go ahead and finish that. And I'll be back when that is done. And then we'll go ahead and place it on the easel. All right, so here's my little floral arrangement. I added the little greenery here like I wanted to. Now I want to attach it to my little easel here. And this is kind of wobbly, but that's okay because we're going to wire down to the whole easel. So the first thing I want to do is place this bottom part on here. I'm going to direct the flower. This flower keeps going downward, so I'm just directing it upward. And I'm going to put it right on the little legs here. I don't really want to cover that little cute little decorative edges, but they're getting covered. Okay, so now that I have them like that, I can get some wire and then wire it down from behind onto the little legs here, these little parts here. Okay, so I'm going to be wiring down to this part right here. So let's go ahead and cut some pieces of wire so I can have them already cut and ready. So about, I don't know, 4 inches. I'll just cut 3 for now, and then we'll see how much more we need. Okay, so let's get this one out of the way. And I'm wiring and through these little stems in the back, okay? So you just have to place them on there and then just kind of look at it and then just grab both the little arrangement stem that you created there and then the little base. See, this is why I didn't want the wire to be too long, so I can bring it through like that. And then just wrap it around and then wrap or twist those little ends together. So let me continue wrapping it because I do want it to be grasping on really nice. Okay, now I can go ahead and twist these little ends and then just trim off any excess you feel you have, if you have any. There we go. And then I'm just going to bend a little end in there. So now it's holding on to this side, but now I need to wire it so that it's holding on to this base. This is the part that goes on the back one here, so I'm just pushing it out of the way. Okay, so now let me wire it down to this side here, right back here. It's like I'm sewing, putting the wire through. And by the way, this wire that I'm using, this is, let's see, it is a 24 gauge, so it's slightly thinner than the stem that I showed you. And this is so easy to just use to wrap around like that. So you can get this on a paddle like I have, or you can get it like on a little spool. Okay, this is enough. I'm gonna now twist those little raw ends together and then trim off any excess. And bend that down and try not to poke yourself, which I just did. And there we go. There's the bottom of our easel already decorated. So now I'm going to take this loopy kind of loosey bit and we're going to wire it to this back part of the easel and do the same thing. Alright, so I finished wiring it and there it is holding on. Just want to make sure this little flower is not getting hidden away. I'm actually going to remove this big leaf right here because it's kind of facing in the opposite direction. So let's remove it. And let's place this flower and I'm going to bend it forward like that. Okay, so now I can re-glue this leaf, but now so the front is facing forward. So I'm going to put some hot glue on the front of it there and a little bit on the back and then just kind of tuck it in there. There we go, right there. But I want this flower to be in front. There we go, all those petals. So just glue it right there. And as a matter of fact, no, I think that looks good. All right, so we're gonna leave that like so. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to look at it, fix your little leaves. Maybe you might want to have to trim a leaf from here, move it over here, whatever you got to do to make your little arrangement look nicer. And I think I might just do that. I have a leaf back here that's kind of wasting away. You can't see it, and it's a nice little leaf, which I'm going to remove. There we go. I'm going to reuse it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put this leaf, actually that leaf is hiding everything. So I'm going to remove it also because I feel like there's just a little too much bulk there. There we go. And I'm going to use these little leaves to place them here. And I think I like this little one right here in the front because it'll hide that little stem there. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on it. And let me hide the stem, but get this flower forward so I don't glue the flower or glue the leaf on the petals of the flower. And I'm going to direct this one also backwards. this big one. It was kind of in my way. There we go. I have another leaf here that's facing downward, so I am going to take that one off as well. You're probably thinking, why didn't you just glue all these little leaves separately at the end? Yeah, I could have. But you know, you're not going to know until you're putting something together. Okay. And then I'm going to bring, all these little flowers have a little bit like this. So this middle flower had all these little, this little bit here. So it was hiding back here. So I just twisted it forward so that it's up against right here. And see, you don't see so much green here, but you see a little bit of the pink. And the big leaves that were over here were kind of hiding this center flower, so that's why I removed them. Okay, so now I feel like maybe I need to wire down here in the center because it kind of wants to kind of go downward like that. So I want to wire it here so it doesn't slide down like that. I want to wire the center piece. So I'm just going to put some wire right there and then add these leaves that I took off somewhere. I don't know, we'll see. But this is basically what it's looking like. So let me go ahead and finish wiring it and I shall be back. All right, everyone, so I've completed this very small, simple little arrangement. So I took an easel and can I arrange that? Yes, I can arrange that. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this little short tutorial. It wasn't very complicated, but you can see that you can do simple arrangements just like that and just give a little touch somewhere in some little corner of your home. Maybe as a little gift to someone, make them happy, make them feel nice. But that's it, everyone. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a kind of comment down below and let me know what you think of my little arrangement. I have a previous arrangement in the background there, so it's kind of muddling what this little arrangement looks like, but again, I am going to pan the camera around it. All right, so if you're enjoying my content and my videos, please subscribe. So hit that red subscribe button right down here, and then after that, you'll see a little bell right next to subscribed. You want to go ahead and hit that so you get notified of all the videos as soon as I upload them. Again, I hope you're enjoying my video. Please share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.